And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today you have myself and Frank here coming each on his channel. By the way, this guy have a new channel. We're going to talk about it right now. We're going to do anything we can to help his channel get bigger and bigger, even bigger than the last gigantic channel that this legend had. We're going to be talking today about what is happening in Iran, in Syria, in Nigeria, but we're going to try to focus on the question of what is happening. Why are they so obsessed in controlling and harming and killing women? And before we start, and then me and Frank here can jump right at it, I want to show you a video that has been circulating around the internet. It's a shocking video. I did already take out the parts that might be a bit too shocking, but I think it's an important video to see what is going on with the Kurds right now in Syria.
صباحو هلا لك شعرها فاضة من وين جايين؟ من الرقة؟ لا يا اخي ليش هيك ليش خاصين لها ليش؟ حرام هي رايحة بس شعرها والله هي بخير بس شعرها.
He's boasting about.
His name is Rami, and
Here,
he
you can
has
hear it here.
5 girls. He is in the Syrian army.
Actually, I'll give you a bit context, guys. He is boasting right after apparently killing Kurdish female fighters, and then they go and they cut their hair and they take it as a loot of war. And it's becoming quite a big thing right now in Syria. This regime is getting the chance now to go in. Well, ISIS and Al-Qaeda are getting the chance to go and humiliate the women that they feared the most, which are the brave Kurdish warriors, true Xena-like feminists who are basically, humiliating ISIS. And we'll talk about it later on. Why was ISIS so afraid of women more than men? And now that they are abandoned by the US, backed by Turkey, the Kurds are being caught very vulnerable, and the jihadists are coming like in hundreds of thousands of numbers and just going and killing, but they're mostly humiliating women in the street, innocent civilians, not only soldiers. But here's a crazy story, and my friend here, Rowan, is sharing. She's from Syria herself, and she's sharing a little bit context about this guy. And it's crazy because there's this video, and there's a video that he made after as a reaction video to this video. So Frank, buckle up, it's going to be a show.
To live in Turkey, where he sought refuge, escaping the brutality of Assad. Ironic, isn't it? Once the news about his 5 girls was shared on social media, in the comments section, many were horrified and wondering how could he have treated a female in this manner, being the father of 5 girls. Well, coming from that culture, I am not surprised. I know that he knows that his worst enemies will never come after his girls. Who behaves this way? The Jews, the Druze, the Kurds, the Armenians. There is only one type who screams Allahu Akbar and thinks that in the name of a God, they're doing something good. He knows that the only danger his girls face comes from people like him, from his friends.
From him.
And in order to protect them, he'll simply put them in a veil. And if they reject the veil, he will kill them to save them from people like himself. Make it make sense.
No, it's Islam, ladies and gentlemen.
Make it make sense. Exactly.
Before we go, when she said something and you said something to you, you're like, how could somebody who have 5 girls, treat women like this? Well, you may not know this. Muhammad never had a surviving male son. Okay, all his daughters, all his offsprings, some of the ones that survived, were women. And yet, he was raping people's women and telling people that they can rape other people's daughters and was okay with it. It's baked into... There's something I always say about any religion, any movement you see, okay? Any person who genuinely follows that movement is going to reflect the spirit of the pioneer of that movement. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to reflect the spirit of the person who pioneered who is the pioneer or the main guy in your religion. If you're a devout Christian, a true Christian, you're going to reflect the spirit of Christ. And what is the spirit of Christ? The way he behaved, what he is known for. People are going to see it in you, and you will try your best to want to be like him. When the founder of your religion is Muhammad, you are going to, and this is what I find really interesting about when you found about Muslims, even the ones that claim to be liberal, every once in a while, even the ones that are not really committed to the religion, every once in a while, you find them behaving like Muhammad, because it's just that thing that comes with that identity. There's just that spirit that possesses them. This guy we just reacted to is clearly behaving like his prophet. He's clearly behaving like his prophet. It doesn't matter if he has 10 girls. His prophet had only girls and yet had no respect for women. None. Forget all the things people tell you about how Muhammad was the first feminist to ever come on the scene. He has no respect for women. This is a prophet who said that any nation that has a woman as its leader would never succeed. This is a man who
you can't outgrow your God. You can't outgrow your prophet morally.
Nah.
And even the moderate ones, they will still, at least in my experience, will fall when you come and question some very genuine questions. Like, I have great Muslim friends that are, mostly secular, but still, when you talk to them about, is it okay to marry a 6 years old? Is it okay to sleep with her? No, only when she's 9. Is it okay to sleep with a 9 years old dude? Like, seriously. And back then things were different and etc. But like, the more that I learn about that religion, the more that I get convinced that it was just literally a movement invented by a bunch of dudes who wanted to get a lot of women, sleep with a lot of women, get a lot of money and a lot of power, and many often were also very bloodthirsty and wanted just to kill a lot of people. And then they started making rules as they go to fit to that. So suddenly, hey, listen, join my religion and you can kill a lot of men and take their women. But what if I die? That gets better. You'll get more women, like 72 of them, and they're gonna be virgin. And every time you sleep with them, they're gonna still be virgin. Like, their private parts will heal. And again, and can I drink? No, not now, because we can't have you drunk. But after, you can get as much alcohol as you want. And it's like all the rules seems to like fit in that narrative. And also later on, like, okay, so wait, if I kill a man and take his woman, she becomes my wife automatically? Yes. But if let's say the first man that I killed had an ugly wife and I was just really, really horny, am I stuck with her? Then the guy's like, well, let's think about it. No, actually, you can have more than one wife. Okay, good. And then after, like, hey, listen, I've killed like 120 men, and do I need to marry all of his wives? That's a little bit of a headache. Like, you take care of all the children. No, that's a good point. I got an idea. You can have several wives, but you can also sleep with women and call them sabiya, not sabaya, sabiya, which makes her like a sex slave. So technically, she does get, converted to Islam because you just had sex with her and forced yourself on her, but you don't have to keep her as your wife, and you can pass her to other warriors. You did her a favor. You made her a Muslim. So it's like all these rules seems to be like made up to convince a bunch of warlord, radical, desert people that just wanted to go and raid and kill. And then later on, a whole religion was built. But back to this guy, let's watch it, because ladies and gentlemen, hear his response. Where is it? Here we go.
صاحب الفيديو تبع الجديدة. أنا رام الدهش صاحب الفيديو تبع الجديدة. اليوم متفاجئ يعني أدحق والله إنه فيديو ضارب ترند وقنوات متداولات.
This is gold.
الفيديو كان عبارة عن مسحة يعني ترى الشعر مو شعر طبيعي، شعر اصطناعي ترى. مريت على المطعم بدي آكل على الطاولة محطوط، فشلته أبو المطعم كمش هاتفه صار يصورني، وإنه يقول شعر هفالة، أقول شعر هفالة ونشروا، ما بالي إنه بده ينشروا يعني صورني الزنا صديقي يعني، فنشروا ورجع حذفوا. قلت له احذفوا ما يصير يعني تنشريش فيديوهات. فالفيديو ما اعرف منو ماخذوه، فمتداولته العالم وضارب ترند وقاتلين ومجرمين وما بيكون له السوالف، والشعر كله ترى تركيبه ترى شعر اصطناعي.
I went to a restaurant and I found fake hair, and I took a picture of it, and I fell. I was walking and I fell. I'm like, hey, why do I have the hair of this woman that we just killed? And like, me and all my friends have been doing that like a trend. Like, I don't know how he got here. Like,
he's not even a good liar.
That is
he's not a good liar.
No, but a little bit of context, guys. For those of you who are watching right now, as we're talking in Syria, there is a massive massacre of the Kurdish community living in Syria. Now, the Kurds are apparently, that's what I understood from Itai Angel and other people who are expert in the matter. Like Itai, he's an Israeli journalist who actually went and lived with the Kurds several times, and he even went and interviewed ISIS fighters in the caves while ISIS was at its peak. So the guy was deep in Syria and the Kurdish community especially, and he has so much knowledge about the Kurds and the Kurds in Syria and in Iraq, and a lot about their women, how powerful they are and what's happening there. And he was sharing with us, and he came in and he said that there's about 40 million Kurds that are stateless. It's the biggest national group in the world that have no country. And they're just wandering, and they keep to get betrayed all the time by everybody. That's why they have a lot of songs that sing that the mountain is my only friend, because the mountain is the only one that did not betray them. And in the mountain, they're fierce warriors. In the mountains, they can stand and they can fight against the drones, against Turkey, against anyone that comes to destroy them. So the mountain is their friend. Now, here in Syria, and let me just, I'll do this for the first time. I'm sharing screen. Oh, window. No, not window. Comment tab. How do I do this? I'm trying to share a screen here.
Bear with my brother. He's not tech savvy.
No, not tech savvy at all. Entertain them while I try to share a screen here. Selected that. No. Okay. Show is yours.
My own screen? Want me to share my own screen? How I share? If you want to share screen, there's a place like down on this thing that has like a screen with a plus. If you click on it, there's share screen. Then you see share screen.
No, I want to share. I know what. I'll do this.
Okay.
You people now. You see this? Here we go. All right. Do you see this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, we are.
All right. So here we go. So as you can see,
you can make that picture like bigger if it's possible. All right.
Clever. As you can see, the yellow part is the Kurdish part of Syria. It's like a big part of Syria. And in that yellow part, the blue ones is controlled by Turkey, kind of. The red one right now, and even some of the green stuff here, is already under the ISIS and Al-Qaeda kind of Jawlani regime. And down here, that's kind of the Druze area, and Israel is over here. So a lot of the gold and the resources that Syria have is actually located under the Kurds. And the Kurds are, the Democratic Forces, SDF, Syrian Democratic Forces, are the allies of America. They were the one who actually defeated ISIS on behalf of America. So, when Donald Trump defeated ISIS, it was through them. They were the best ally. They were looking for someone that would fight with them and for them. And the Kurds were fierce warriors, and they defeated ISIS. And now all of a sudden they got betrayed. Their equipment malfunction, stopped working. Something happened. Someone pressed the button. All their equipment stopped working. The radio went down. And all of a sudden Turkey and hundreds of thousands of jihadists coming from here just went in, and America just pulled back and didn't do anything, left them alone. And they got overrun and slaughtered. And many of the fighters that they had that were not Kurds, that joined their ranks, mostly from the Bedouins, betrayed them in the time of need. That's kind of in the areas of the Deir Zur here in Raqqa, betrayed them and allowed it to come. So technically, right now, all of this yellow is almost red. Like everything yellow disappeared. In a matter of few days, an entire nation, call it, was just erased so fast. And now they're going in. There's a few strongholds, like where the red point here is mostly close to American bases. So there's a few strongholds. Maybe I can show you here. No, not this one. There's a few strongholds where, here, we can show it a little bit here. El Hasaka here and Tamir, all these areas, there's a few strongholds that are still being held in that
But
area, Tamir, by the Kurds themselves, but the rest were completely overrun. And for those of you who don't know, the Druze area is over here, and that is kind of the Bedouin areas that is highly affiliated with ISIS and Al Qaeda. And here is the border with Israel. If you guys see, like here.
yeah, we can see that.
So that was a little bit of a context. Now, when I was talking, how do I come back? And I stop the share screen. Aha, here we go, remove. So now that we understand the picture, guys, when I asked this guy, what is it with the girls? Why are they like humiliating the girls so much? He came and he told me that ISIS was telling his soldiers that if you die, you go to heaven. If you die fighting, I mean, or in some sort of jihad, you go to heaven and then you get all the virgins and etc. But if you die to a female, then that's very embarrassing. That's very humiliating. Then you might not actually go to heaven. Then you might have just suffered everything here and then died for nothing. So whenever they will hear these Kurdish strong, fierce female warriors, they had their war cry, which was like and or kulululish, like we like to say in other places, and that will just strike fear and shock in the ISIS warriors, and they start like fumbling, losing control, and running away, and then these women will come and just kill them. And a lot of these ISIS warriors are this guy and a lot of the Syrian people. So now so now you see they're actually driving there with military graded drones. All of this are drones coming from Turkey, man. And just pickup trucks, Toyotas, going around all excited because they want to go and take revenge of these women that has been humiliating you. So there's a lot of hate toward women, so much that watch this guy here. This guy is one of the Jolani soldiers. The first thing that he does after he killed the people in the town, he goes to the Ministry of Women's Right Affairs. This is women's rights. But we have the rights for women is Islam. And he rips it. And he's so proud of it. So proud of it. And by the way, this is Syria, guys. Like there's ISIS flag every street corner. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, like freely. They even have merchandise shops where they're selling like, ISIS teddy bears and hats and like Build a Bear, Allahu Akbar style. Like you can put a voice in it. I don't know. So what is it, Frank? You know Islam very well. You're from Nigeria. You've been doing this job for a very long time, talking about the Christians there and the Muslims and everything's happening. Why is there so much hate among mostly radical Islamists toward women?
Okay, before I talk about the Muslim part, I'm really like what I'm seeing from Syria right now. What you just showed me, although I've not been plugged in with regards to what's happening in the Middle East, but what I'm seeing right now is really like shocking to me. Like I'm shocked. Not, of course, not shocked at what Muslims are doing, but just shocked that it is allowed to happen. Because was it not Giuliani that was in the White House shaking Donald Trump, and everybody was saying he was a reformed, repentant Al Qaeda, former Al Qaeda soldier? Like he's no longer wanted. He has changed his ways. He has repented, essentially, and it's all good right now. And I even had like the last time I checked, ISIS, of course, it means Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, right? But they have chapters in other parts of, like the Islamic State essentially have like chapters in other parts of the world. The goal is not just to stay in Syria, right? Or is there something I'm missing? Like, if you allow this to flourish in Syria, will it not spread to the rest of the region? Is this not a problem for the entire Middle East? I just don't understand, like, why is the rest of the world like, but my real issue is like, what is really surprising to me is like, why is the rest of the world watching this happen? Like, I really want to know, you're somebody who is familiar with this situation. I really want to know, like, what is Trump saying? Like, what are like leaders in the West saying? Because this is not, if there is any deal like any of this leader have with Giuliani that entails allowing him to allow ISIS to roam freely in Syria.
And support them and back them up.
It would be better. Honestly, I know Assad is a very evil man, but it would be better to have Assad dead than this.
Everybody's saying that. Yeah.
Like, it would be better to have Assad dead than this guy. Like, than ISIS. It's ISIS we are talking. Like, to me, like, we're talking about ISIS, guys. ISIS we're talking about. Like, ISIS is roaming freely. Didn't you fight for years? Didn't you fight for years to destroy ISIS? Like, all the talk right now that they talk about Nigeria is not to fight ISIS in Nigeria. So what is the game plan? You're going to fight ISIS in Nigeria for maybe, I don't know, 10 years. And then after that, you're going to sacrifice the Christians in northern Nigeria. Say, oh, we found a repentant ISIS president that we can now shake hands with. Is that the game? Like, this does not look good for America. Like, what message are you sending to other people in other parts of the world? Like, you cannot be trusted, essentially. Like, this is my real concern is just, there's something I always say to my wife is that I'm not often shocked when a snake bites. I usually talk about Muslims. I'm like, I'm not often shocked when a snake bites. What I find shocking is when people who's supposed to know that this is a snake and this is a snake biting and this is how snakes operate. People who are supposed to know that are acting like somehow they don't know. That's what often surprises me, when it's how everyone around me is reacting to snake bite like it is nothing. It's kind of what is I find really surprising. And in this situation, for me, is like, are we all not seeing this? Are we all not concerned about this? Do these people really think they can trust? Like, is there any, if whatever deal you may have with these guys, do you think you can trust them? You know, Muhammad taught his people not to respect deals, not to respect treaties. Do you know how many he broke? And that is the prophet of their religion. In fact, they are fighting in his name. They follow his playbook to the letter. You really think they will honor any? Let's say I don't even know whatever deal you people have, but what if there is one? You think they will honor it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Listen, you nailed it. You asked the question that everybody with half a brain is asking himself right now. Isn't ISIS the bad guys? Like, why are we supporting ISIS? And here's the thing: like the Kurds. First of all, the Kurds, if people don't know, the Kurds are the descendant of Salah ad-Din, which was considered the most fierce, most respectful, mighty Muslim warrior. And they're known to be fierce warriors. And the Kurds are among the only groups in Islam that is not religion first, but more nationality first. That's why they empower their women so much. That's why they allow other religions to live among them. That's why they are more progressive, because they say, Islam is a religion, good, but I'm a Kurd. This is my nationality. This is my heritage. This is my culture. This is my clothing, my and that pisses off a lot of the Muslims around. First, because they fear them. Second, because they think they're not Muslim enough. But the Kurds have never betrayed America. They were always great allies for America, and they were heavily trained by the CIA, and they were the main ones. That, like, these girls were called the ISIS hunters, the lions of the mountains, ISIS hunters. They were like, and when you think about it from the West perspective, you have this group of like Xena-like, progressive Muslim women and men that are like living among each other. Like, my friend told me that one time he was sitting in this military unit as a journalist, and he looks at this guy, and they're eating like food together, and he asks him like, hey, I heard they're gonna elect a new captain now for this like brigade. Who do you think should be the next captain? And he's just eating food, and he points at a female there, like, she. And he looks at him, and he's like a little bit shocked, because he's not used in the Middle East to find a man that tell him that he wished that a woman would be the one to lead him to battle. And he looks at him, he's like, wow, why would you want her to be? And he just looks at him like, because she's the best fighter. She's the best leader. She's a great warrior. And they would look at each other equally, men and women, in terms of capabilities. If you're a great leader, warrior, tactician, and the females there have an added value because ISIS fear them so much that it's like having a +2 kind of buff to morale and to courage, and a -2 buff fear and like peeing your pants and having diarrhea in the middle of your pants while you're running around shouting Allah Akbar, because so that helps in the battlefield. You just kind of gave a buff to your soldiers because they're ruled by a bad Tusik woman. But anyway, why is the West suddenly okay with America and Europe siding with Al Qaeda, with ISIS? They're having ISIS flags in the streets. They're singing ISIS songs. They're going around plundering, killing ISIS style, the same way that they're doing in Nigeria, the same way that they did in Iraq, the same way. Like literally nothing changed. Nothing changed. Only now, America's on their side, and Tom Barak is like, speaking on their behalf. And the greatest ally in that region were completely abandoned. And I think that is a very good reminder to everyone everywhere that, guys, you might think that today you have your allies on your side, but tomorrow they can betray you, like just like that. And I think my theory is this: America knows that Jolani is ISIS. I mean, they had $10 million bounty on his head, literally, for being ISIS, and he was categorized as part of ISIS, part of Al Qaeda. America knows that. The CIA knows that. They all know that. They know that his soldiers are this guy cutting hairs and taking, flesh trophy from women and etc. and doing horrible stuff. But what I realize is that we are living in a generation today, more than any time before, that even though we have so much information, people don't know how to read that information, and people are basically just waiting there like a cow watching the train coming their way, and are being told what to do, when to do, and how to do. I just came back from a pro-Palestine demonstration, a huge one, in a neighborhood in Germany, where they came and complained that this neighborhood is too much pro-Israel, and they want to basically decolonize that neighborhood and free that neighborhood and free Palestine. That was like their song. Let's free Konovitz and free Palestine. Free Konovitz from what? From a bunch of like left-wing hippies who like to do graffitis and love Israel and think that, rape is not resistance. Free from what? And that happened during the time, the peak of the massacre in Iran and the massacre of the Kurds. So we're having thousands of innocent people's blood running in the streets in the most horrific way. No war in Gaza anymore. Israel literally pulled out. They got all the hostages except like one body that's still there, pulled out. And these people, they just come and demonstrate for Palestine, but they're calling themselves activists. So why aren't you demonstrating for Iran? There's about 93 million people in Iran oppressed. There's about 2.5 million Kurds in Syria right now oppressed. And there's like way more that are countryless. So why? And then I said, you know what? It's because people today, politicians have realized that they can do whatever they want.
They want, yes.
And they will just say something and people will take it as it is.
Yeah.
Hey guys, ISIS is not the bad guys anymore. ISIS are our friends.
and this is just one of those things that we are living in an age where our access to information, we've never had so much easy access to any information we want as we have in this current day and age. And yet I don't think we've had this amount of ignorant, stupid people like we have right now. I think the number of informed, reasonable, sensible people I feel like they've skyrocketed. And why the information, like why the access to information is increasing, and the amount of information out there is increasing, the amount of stupid people are also increasing. I mean, it makes me wonder, maybe the solution to stupidity is not really easy access to information. It's just a desire to learn. And I don't think, no matter how much information you push out there, it doesn't make people, even if you have a catchy hook, and you make the video very lovely, and you're like, yeah, here's a bunch of information I think you should know, people will still be like, nah, show me free Palestine.
No, crazy, man. Here, let me read for you the official statement by Ambassador Tom Barak, who is basically kind of leading this whole Syria massacre kind of betrayal that is happening. And read it word to word, and then you'll hear, and I would like to hear your thought about it. Like, stop me any moment and add a point about it as we read it. Ambassador Tom Barak: the greatest opportunity for the Kurds in Syria right now lies in the post-Assad transition under the new government led by President Ahmed al-Shara. This moment offers a pathway to full integration into the unified Syria state with citizenship, cultural protection, and political participation. This is while they're being massacred, by the way. Like while they're cutting their hairs and violating their women. That's what he writes. Cultural protection and political participation, long denied under Bashar al-Assad regime, where many Kurds faced statelessness, language restrictions, and systematic discrimination. Like they're going around saying they want to erase their identity right now. Historically, the U.S. military presence in northern Syria was justified primarily as a counter-ISIS partnership. The Syrian Democratic Force (SDF), led by Kurds, proved the most effective ground partner in defeating ISIS territorial caliphate by 2019. They literally did the job of defeating them,
Mhm.
detaining thousands of ISIS fighters and family members in prisons and camps like El Hul and El Shadadi. At the time, there was no functional central Syria state to partner with. The Assad regime was weakened, contested, and not viable partner against ISIS due to this. Wait, it doesn't finish.
Mhm. Due
Uh,
to
yeah, here is go the next one. Due to its alliance with Iran and Russia, today the situation has fundamentally changed. Syria now has acknowledged central government that has joined the global coalition in defeat ISIS.
so wait, I want to understand something. Okay, so
Please.
you could not ally with Assad regime in defeating ISIS because Assad was allies with Iran and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you are not going to ally with ISIS because ISIS wants to be allied with you. So
Yeah.
wait, what is exactly your problem with ISIS? Was not their brutality, the humanitarian crisis that their campaign is creating, the instability that it is creating in the Middle East, and the threats they pose to the rest of the world. That was not your problem with ISIS. Your problem with ISIS was that they were not your allies.
Yeah. Like that's what they're not telling the Americans. Because what these guys did, the first thing they did, by the way, the Syrian government, is they went and freed ISIS from prisons, like thousands of them. And they freed ISIS camps with like 40 to 50,000 ISIS members, women and children that are more radical than their fathers. So the first thing they did once they joined America in the coalition to go and defeat ISIS, they went and freed ISIS. From who? From the Kurds who were actually guarding over ISIS and who put them there in prison, who were just right now. And this is not reaching the American people. Like the American people are hearing right now, yeah, there was some guys, Kurds, I don't know, but now America doesn't need them, and now everybody's coming kumbaya happily under Syria and great friends, and there's a lot of oil there. Today, the situation fundamentally changed. Syria has now acknowledged central government to defeat ISIS as its 90th member in late 2025, signaling a westward pivot, cooperating with the US on counterterrorism. They're the terrorists themselves. This shifts the rationale for the US SDF partnership. Its original purpose of the SDF as the primary anti ISIS force on the ground has largely expired. Wow. What a way to tell your allies. That's it, guys.
We're done. We don't need you anymore.
You expired.
Man, what is Trump doing, man?
Wow.
This does not look good. Everything is not about money at the end of the day. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Everything is not about money. Or is it
Mm-hmm.
or is it because the Kurds are not Christians? Because if it was Christians, he knows his base will not be on board. Is it because they are Muslims? Come on. You don't
Hey, no, even with Christians. In Syria, the government and its people are actually oppressing Christians. The Kurds are not oppressing Christians. So even that is being hidden and oppressed. Like literally, come on. ISIS doesn't like Christians. I mean, you don't need to. I think every kid in America knows that.
of course they
So
know
you come and you side with ISIS
this is
against
this is just unfortunate. This is really I really want to understand who is this Tom
Tom
Barack
Barak.
guy and why? Like why does Trump have that kind of person working for him? Like
So Tom Barak apparently was a businessman from Lebanon who have deep ties in
let
Turkey.
me
He's
see
a
his
real
picture
estate guy.
because the more you call his name, he reminds me of somebody it looks like somebody that I may have Just let me see if you have a picture of him. But or let me just
Yeah,
search.
he looks like Gru from the Minions. You know Groot from the Minions, that like the evil professor that have the minions. He looks like him. But yeah, if you find a picture, put it up. Put
Yeah,
it up.
yeah,
I'll keep reading while you look for the pictures.
I've seen the picture. This is an interesting face to look at. He really has that supervillain face.
Where did you send the picture?
No, I didn't send it. I just
Ah,
can I
okay.
share my screen so that people can see the picture of the guy?
Yeah, you can actually upload a picture here also, or share your screen, whatever you want.
Okay, okay. Give me a second.
Tell me when you're ready. I'm gonna keep reading this. Um,
Oh,
ex-
I have something here too. Should I go ahead and share?
yeah. Just put it.
Okay.
Here we go.
So there it is. that is it. That is his lovely face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The Turks hate the Kurds. They hate them. And the Kurds have been humiliating them in combat and being like really a pain in their neck, and they're resisting basically a genocidal attempt by the Kurds. Tom Barak is a big sucker for the Kurds, for the Turks, and he also for some reason probably seems to very hate the Kurds. So for him that was an opportunity, that's what I heard, to go and allow the defeat and the humiliation of the Kurds in their most like in the weakest spot when they were not expecting it, because the Kurds were, as of like a week ago, were considered the strongest army in Syria.
Hmm.
So they were considered way stronger than Jolani government. But they were resting very like, okay, good. Jolani, everybody sees his ISIS. Assad regime fell down. America's on our side. We are literally their allies. Like, we never betrayed them. We're always with them. We're doing good. We're doing good. Everything's gonna be fine. Soon enough, that regime is gonna collapse, and either we will go and unite free Syria, or we'll divide Syria to like different groups, for the Kurds, for the Christians, for the Alawites, for the Muslims, for the Yazidis, for the Druze. Like each one would have his own federation where you can live as you want. Basically,
Mhm,
if
mhm.
you wanna be jihadist Muslim, play your jihadist Muslim games like in that area. If you wanna be a Druze, a progressive Druze or a progressive Christian, or Yazidi or an Alawite, and live your own life, do that. If you want to be a Kurd, do that. Like everybody was able to live however they want. And let me tell you something, all these groups that I mentioned right now, the Alawites, the Kurds, the Yazidis, the Druze, they're way more progressive. Like they're way more progressive than the Sunnah of Al Jawlani in Syria, Al Sham, these Salafi Sunnahs. They're like the least progressive, the most barbarians there. And all of a sudden, bomb, they get betrayed and boom, almost wiped. Wiped.
This is so unfortunate. And it just
Yeah.
reminds me of something that BB said. He said, there's something BB said. He said, no one is going to do deals with you except you are winning. And that is why Israel needs to win. At the end of the day, that is the geopolitics game. It's not really. It may sound a little bit cynical at this for coming from me, and I really had great hopes that Trump and the Trump administration really will not be like this. But the reality at the end of the day is that people only want to make deals with the strong, and it looks like in Israel's calculation, I guess, you know, or maybe they are doing it for Turkey. I don't think they are doing it because of Jelani himself. Maybe because of Edwan, I guess.
Yeah. The strong and the rich, because of Erdogan and because of Saudi Arabia, where
Yeah.
there's money and power, that's where they go.
That's what decide how deals are being made these days. It's so unfortunate that we now have opportunistic politicians,
Yeah.
and sadly, unfortunately, Trump is an opportunistic politician. He is, you know.
hmm Here, the last part here says this creates unique window for the Kurds' integration into the new Syrian state, for full of citizenship rights, including for those previously stateless, recognition as an integral part of Syria, etc., and participate in the government. Um, Imagine this. Imagine that while during October 7, all of a sudden, America will turn on Israel because Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Qatar will pressure them, And we tell them, no, listen, guys, the real solution for the Middle East is Palestine. Tell the Jews to lay down their weapon and join Palestine, and they can all live freely under Palestine, under Hamas. And crazy as it might sound, all
It
of a
can
sudden,
happen.
yeah, that's
It
exactly what happened to the Kurds.
That is
Hey,
it.
Israel.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Like, this can happen,
Yeah.
guys. I'm serious. Like, and here is the thing that people in the United States need to recognize is that if everyone who is your ally thinks that tomorrow you can throw them under the bus like this, you will not have strong allies. You will never. You have signed yourself up to like, if this is how you treat people who are your allies, this is how you treat your friends, you will never have friends. You will not. Every person is going to be, there's going to be this half commitments that they have towards you. They're always going to be concerned about being allies with you because they don't know what will happen tomorrow and you will switch up on them. You are not to be trusted. That is not how you want your country to conduct itself internationally. It is not how it should be conducted. This is bad. Like,
No, very bad.
if you are somebody in America right now, you need to understand this. This is bad. Every Saudi Arabia is watching, even though you are doing it for Saudi Arabia now. They are watching you, and they're like, "Yeah, did you see what they did to the Kurds? They can do it to us too." Israel is watching you, one of your strongest allies in the Middle East, the one you really need to surveil the Middle East, is watching, and they're like, maybe we should start thinking about Russia.
Israel said that. Bibi Netanyahu said that Israel is planning right now, in 10 years from now, to become fully independent from US support.
Exactly.
And it's not because we don't like America, but because we're thinking like, wow.
You can't trust America. You can't trust America. You can't. That is the message.
Like, they will like turn on you and just all of a sudden, become part of Palestine.
Convenient. Yes, they are non-committed. Like, their commitment to you is not strong. That is the message. And any smart country, any country that has smart leaders will recognize it right now and start building strategy towards independence from these people. That is why. You see, this is why, people always talk about India and how India is playing both sides. And sometimes I'm like, man, there is no side in this thing. The only side you should be on right now is your side. Be on your side. You're not on the US side. You're not on Russia's side. You're not on China's side. Be on your side, because these people are not on your side.
Yeah. And you might have people in it that are on your side. You might have Christians here and there that are on your side. But the government policy, first of all, every country cares for itself. And, that's how it is. Even Israel cares for itself first, and every country cares for itself first. And when you understand that, alliances can shift very, very fast, especially by generations who come and go. Now, someone here asked a very good question that I've been hearing quite a lot, and I want to try to address it. It's a can of worms. It's a box of dynamite, but I'm going to try to answer that question. So bear with me, guys. And also, Frank, feel free to add anything if you feel like, you want to challenge what I said or, don't agree with, by all means, please. Thinking out loud. Some Kurds think that Jolani wouldn't have moved against them without a green light from Israel in the Paris meeting. Do you think this could be true? Now, let me give some context to the people here. And, Kidulan Israel, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. If you think that I misunderstood your question, also just write a comment. Now, there was a meeting in Paris, the Paris meeting, where some of the Kurds are feeling betrayed by Israel because they say that in that meeting, they have sold the fate of the Kurds, and Israel was there. And if Israel was a true ally, Israel would have at least send us a message. Hey guys, listen, they're coming for you. They were actually expecting from Israel more. They said they were thinking that Israel will protect them just like they protected the Druze, which is hand off the Druze, flying fighter jets and taking them down. And they saw that Israel didn't do not that, and not that. No fighter jets in the sky and no warnings. And said, Israel, come on, for sure. Israel have the Mossad. Israel have a very good intelligence, Shmonim Atayim and other cyber units. They must have known about this betrayal coming. And why didn't they send them a heads up? And that's where they see a big betrayal from Israel. Now, let me try to tackle this. First of all, I wish Israel would have sent a message and fighter jets and saved the Kurds. I wish they would. They didn't. That's a fact. Now, here is where I think things are happening, and I hope that people understand not to put all the hate toward Israel. Try to figure this out. America have just made it super clear that their ally is El Jawlani, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the ISIS Al Qaeda regime in Syria. Super clear. I just read to you Tom Barak. Like, it can't be more clear than that. This is our ally. We're working with them. And then they give them the green light to go and basically kill their previous ally, the Kurds. What if Israel would have suddenly stepped in and started basically wiping out and destroying the new ally of America that America have just gave the green light? Where would that put Israel in terms of its relationship with America? And what if America probably even knew that this might happen and came and told Israel, listen, Israel,
Don't
this
get
is going to
involved.
happen. Don't get involved. And they hold Israel by the balls. Why? Israel, in 1 week from now, we're going to help you take Iran down. We're going to eliminate once and for all the nuclear threat to come and wipe out the Jewish nation from the face of this earth. We're going to go with you there. So, if you don't want things to play bad for you, stay quiet, sit on the bench, don't do anything. And it's like, but, no, but. This is how it's done. We, America, we decided we're going with ISIS and Al Qaeda. There are no allies. You sit down. But Israel's like, but guys, they're going to jump on you. They're going to bite you back. Like, you know who you're dealing with? No. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, we listen to them now. We don't listen to you, Israel. Sit down, wait. Iran next week, as they're sending all their carriers. So Israel is suddenly sitting. And I know for a Kurdish person here, that again, that's not an official announcement from the government. That's literally me trying to read the map, and there's much more that we don't know than we know. We need to understand that. But Israel is sitting now and thinking, wow, they're just about to go and massacre these poor people. But I have a chance right now to go and eliminate the one that want to nuke me and erase me from the face of this earth. What should I do? Should I risk canceling that and harming my relationship forever with the American, administration, which seems to be right now very shaky, and risk it all for the Kurds? Or should I step back and just hope that they will stand and fight as they should be, because they're considered the strongest army in that area, and somehow, manage to shift? So I think there was some kind of a Game of Thrones house games play here. And again, I wish Israel would have stepped in and protected the Kurds, because I think ISIS is ISIS, and they were always bad and they will always be bad. So I think to side with ISIS and allow them to go and massacre innocent, brave Kurdish men and women, like true feminism, that is the only feminism that we have in the Muslim world, basically, to go and basically erase it. And I'm talking proper like feminism, not like, the purple-haired girl that don't shave their armpits and hate men. I'm talking like, the real warrior spirited, kind of strong women that seek real equality, and not just drive their car and try to run over ICE agents and then yell at them and then, complain when they get shot in the face because they try to murder a police officer. Like, not these kind of feminists. I'm talking like the real ones that go and risk it to go, not risking their life to protect Somalian migrants who came to steal money from your children, but the ones who are risking their life to go and defeat ISIS in order to save little girls. So I hope that answer your question, Kidon Israel. I think that the Kurds have a right to be upset and disappointed from Israel. 100%. I'm not going to hide that. And I think also, if they will have it in them to try to understand the big picture here and to realize that if Israel could, they would have stepped for them.
Yeah.
But there's bigger forces.
That is just that seems more what am I saying? That seems more plausible. That's a plausible explanation, because people need to recognize at the end of the day is that one of the reasons why Israel is called the greatest ally of the United States is just how quickly they often bend to the will of the US, which is one of the things that I find really unfortunate for Israel, because they bend to the will of the United States. Yet people in the United States think that the United States is bending to the will of Israel.
Yeah. It's
totally
so
wrong.
opposite, guys.
Yeah, it's so
Speaking about these idiots, speaking about these idiots, should we give them attention in our show? Should we?
before we go to those morons, this is more. I feel like this is more important. Like, and that is it's just the unfortunate thing for the nation of Israel that they really do. They go over and beyond for the United States. They are really the strongest ally of the United States. I think one of the reasons why many other countries hate them is just how much of a dog they are for the United States. Like, I feel like that is part of the reason. Not besides also the fact that they are Jews, the Jewish state and all whatnot. There is that, but there's just how much of a dog they are for this. Like you are the dog of the United States. You are their extension. You know, people always say Americans would be like, yeah, Israel is the 51st state, and the people
Israel is an aircraft carrier, land based in the Middle East.
I
That's
want
what
to
it
say,
is.
yeah, to a degree, yes, but they don't even have the rights that states.
No, it's an aircraft carrier. We just have
Yeah,
airplanes and very strong soldiers, and we do the
Why?
war for them.
And they realize that as long as they remain useful, then you cannot get rid of them. As long as they are obedient dogs, you cannot get rid of. And I'm not saying this in a kind of derogatory way. I'm using this to kind of make an explanation of how the situation Israel has with the United States. And that is why, like, Israel cannot, the survival of Israel, if that is the long-term plan, it is not a good thing. Any visionary leader for Israel, one of their goals should just be as independent from the United States as much as you can. If possible, be like India, play both sides. Play both sides. I'm like, play both sides. There is no, as we can see, which is something that leaders in Israel, the leadership in Israel should observe. As you can see, even the United States don't recognize what you are doing and respect it. You know, at the end of the day, they respect people who insult them. They respect people who tell them no. They respect people who treat them badly. Maybe you should be one of those people. It's just the truth. I'm telling you, they respect. It's just crazy how Westerners think. I've realized it. Westerners, I tell my wife all the time, I say Westerners like being insulted. They don't like if you are kind to them, you're nice to them, you're being no. They like people who insult them, like people who talk not trash about them, who have no regard for them. That is why they open their borders and allow people to come in and rape them. Like that, they like it now. It's just this fetish for insult and humiliation. You even see it among those on the right. It's not even a left-wing something. That's why I call it a Western thing at this point. Even people on the right love being insulted.
The young right, the new right. Yeah, the new right is like that. The woke right.
Yeah, they have Tucker Carlson and they have Candace Owens. People who are insulting your intelligence on a daily basis. I've never seen. How can somebody come and there are lies people tell you that you're like, what do you take me for? Do you think I'm a fool? And yes, these people think you are fools. And you prove them right every single time. So I'm like, look, this is what the West has become. You recognize it and use them as much as they are using you. That is the game. Let everybody be playing it. Let's see how far we can go. There's something we say in Nigeria: give people what they give to you. Just give them what they give to you. My advice to the US, to the Israeli government is about time you start recognizing that it is not a long-term strategy to continuously remain this much of a puppet of the United States. Has made
I tell you what.
That's made you have you've made it has made you the enemy of so many people in the Middle East. People in the Middle East don't hate you because you are Israel. They hate you because you are the US puppet. They don't like it. Especially those who don't like the US. And some do it for religious reasons, some do it for just other reasons. You know, there are even people in Nigeria, in Africa, that also these people are not even like, if you one thing people don't know is that even in a continent like Africa, there's a strong anti-American sentiment. It's something that is strong all over the world. It's the truth. Any person who has been to anywhere other than America will recognize that anti-American sentiment that almost every citizen in every part of the world, especially in this continent, have. Now, True, America has come and aided some of these countries. America has come, but it is always at a cost. It always comes at a cost. And yes, Americans will be like, well, we are giving them, there's this game that Western leaders kind of play with their people, where they only show their people what they are doing for the nation, for this particular nation. Oh, we are going into Liberia now. We are doing this great thing. Or we are going into South Africa. Look at this wonderful thing we just did. This is our humanitarian effort and we are good people. They don't tell you, oh, actually, we did it for something, and this is what we got in exchange. So that the other part of it, that the people that your government just helped, there's another part of that deal that the people don't like. That is why you are not liked. It's not because you are this Father Christmas Santa Claus figure that is busy helping every other person and they don't like you in return. No, there is something your leaders, your government are doing in those countries that they claim to be helping that is making the people there don't like them. For example, Mali decided to ally itself with Russia, for example. And why did the government, the dictatorship in Mali decide to do that? For years, France has been in Mali. France military has been in Mali. And the aim of the French military, the reason why the French military remained in Mali for so long was because the French promised, we are going to deal with Islamic terrorism. We are going to take care of these terrorists for you. You guys don't worry. We have a superior army. We are going to help deal with this. We got this. And nothing changed. In fact, the places where they mine resources from Mali, the places where the French government will go and mine resources from Mali are the places that have the worst case of Islamic terrorism. And the US is aware of this. The UK is aware of this. But the US is allied with France. So everybody keeps quiet. How do you think the people of Mali feel towards not just the French government, but the United States? How do you think they are going to feel about you?
Yeah, there's these dirty games that are going all around, undoubtedly. I mean, you can look right now at France and Spain and other countries who are refusing to call the Islamic Republic of Iran as a terrorist regime, which means they're literally siding with terrorists. Like, they're siding with terrorists, undoubtedly. But here's the thing, man. I agree and I don't agree with some of the things that you said, and I'll explain. I think every country should stand for itself. I think you have 3 big sharks right now floating in this ocean called planet Earth. Shark America, shark China, shark Russia. And then there's like an octopus tentacle called, Jihad Islam, was trying to reach, everywhere. A kraken. And then you have Europe, which is like a tuna fish. It's just a beautiful fish that people likes to bite in and eat, but it's irrelevant in terms of shaping the oceans. And then you have the small nations that need to choose a side. You cannot swim on yourself in this ocean. You swim by yourself, one of these big sharks will eat you. Now, for a very long time, Team America was the most moral, most free democracy Western shark, orca, call it, to roam this ocean, and it was good to be inside of Team America. But once in a while, he will turn around and just, do a move or bite and, hurt his own side. But the way that I look at America now is, I think allies of America should never go and ally with Russia or with China. They are like evil, pure evil, or radical jihad. They're way worse. America is still much, much better because in Team West, Team NATO, Team Europe, Team Democracy, Team Freedom, with all the crazy stuff that sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But America more reminds me of the TV series The Boys. Have you watched the TV series The Boys?
No.
You should, man. So The Boys is like an alternative world for how Superman would have been if he was evil. If Superman is evil, insecure, jealous, immature, but still have the power of Superman, like, he can literally go and destroy the world and everybody tremble in fear around him. And just like I see Israel as Batman, or like in other small countries, they need to have a contingency plan of what happened if America just goes batshit cuckoo crazy. Now, are you a Christian, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, I am.
So you have these verses in the Bible that talk that in the end of days, all the nations will turn against Israel. And, it just says clearly, like, all the nations will come in the book of Revelations, will come to fight Israel. And then there will be a great war. And just when Israel is about to be defeated and the women and children are running into the mountain, there will be the gnashing of the teeth. That's when they will turn to the sky and the Lord Jesus will come with all of his armies and the angels. And this time he will not come as a pacifist, turn your left cheek. He will come as a warrior and will defeat these armies, which are the armies of the devil. Now, it's very clear what is Israel. It's very clear what's the rest of the world. So it gives a prophecy. If you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. But that in the end of the days, they will come and fight. Now the question is that we have is, will America be part of that? Will America still be America, or will something else take it? And I think, and that's what I thought lately. You know, the Bible, God calls the Jews, to be the light to the nations. And I think it's very time misunderstood. It doesn't mean that the Jews are any better. They're not. They're just like anyone else. And it doesn't mean that they are more moral and they're not, they're just as human as anyone else. You just have sometimes people who are living more on a better principle of morality and discipline and culture and science and innovation. They succeed more, and the Jews are usually among that. But a light to the nation means that there's a darkness out there and there's a light. And when you look, you see, okay, that's my compass. That's where I should go. Or that's the light that can help me see the darkness and warn me about it. Now, let me explain, because I just thought about it a few days ago. Anti-Semitism is the lighthouse for the nations to stay away from the darkness. And what do I mean? Israel, suddenly you have a spotlight on Israel in a very dark world, and you have a lot of anti-Semitism, and it gives you a good indication if you are on the side of light or on the side of darkness. Every nation that started harboring anti-Semitism ended up collapsing, rotting from the inside, and just get destroyed and defeated and forgotten in the books of history. You look at it through history. But it seems to be that almost every nation at a certain point, when they became very successful, very strong, they started becoming anti-Semite, because it's a very good mirror of what happened when a nation becomes ungodly, when a nation becomes obsessed with hatred towards minorities that are actually good for them. And it's a good indication that still we have today. One of the only best indications to see if a nation is morally getting bankrupt and falling into darkness. And you see today, anti-Semitism have risen 400 to 600% around the West, around the US and other places. And I think that is something that, if you ask me, should be concerning, because I think one of the reasons that America was so successful is not because they love the Jews or they love Israel, is because they were rooted on Christian freedom, moral values, which doesn't have a place for anti-Semitism in it. And they did so much better than Europe, which Europe was, extremely anti-Semitic back then. It was just collapsing. Russia have the greatest scientists, the greatest engineers, a great culture of educated people, poetry, culture, literature, like so many things, collapsing, miserable, poor, and people there just eating one another. And because they were, infected by the brain rot of racism, anti-Semitism, and all these things that usually come in a package. So I think when a nation starts falling into that, that's what it means being a light to the world. If you want to see if your nation is going the right direction, ask yourself, what do I think about the Jews? It's just a very good test. I hate them because they're Jews. Okay, Tucker Carlson, you are right now going into the verse. Remember that verse? I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. So I think that is the exact manifestation of that verse. It's not that I will do hocus pocus and hail and lightning is falling from the sky. Is when you infest yourself with hatred, with racism, with rage and anger and jealousy, it makes you rot from inside. And anti-Semitism is a very good manifestation of all these feelings together. And it stays inside you and it rots you. And that's what I think is happening to a lot of people in America right now. They're getting away from the Christian principles that made them the great country that they were. And like it or not, guys, in the end of the day, is the one who built America were pioneer, brave, strong Christians who said enough is enough. We don't want the shackles of Europe. And they came to America and they built a great country. And your great-great-parents and your grandparents were on the side of Israel. But your younger generation right now seems to be on the side of Hitler. And I think, I'm not making this up, I think that's a big problem.
It is. It is a very big problem. It's a very well. Now, I think I need to clarify some of the things that I was saying with regards to playing both sides. What I mean is, don't put all your like as a nation, don't put all your eggs in one basket, kind of, be open to the possibilities. America is very open to possibilities. It's a
Yeah.
land of possibilities. So if your allies are open to possibilities, you also be open to possibilities. I mean, America is open to the possibility of working with ISIS.
Yeah, they did. They're out right now.
Yeah, right now, working with ISIS. So you should also be open to working with Russia. Now, I'm not saying Russia are good people, but sometimes your survival may depend on it.
I think you're super screwed if you end up coming to a place where you need to work with Russia. I think you're really, really screwed. I think you're really,
Yeah.
really screwed if you need to work with radical jihad, because they are pure against you and what you stand for. But I think if you find yourself in a place that you can't work with America anymore, then bottom line, yes, you are just really screwed.
Yeah, and the truth is, I will not. If any nation finds itself in that position, I will not blame them. That is just the truth, because you have to ask yourself, who screwed you like that? Who put you in such a screwed up situation? Is it the very America you were allied with? It's so unfortunate. America reminds me of there's this passage in scripture where I forgot. I think it's in Ecclesiastes, and I'm not saying it exactly, but I think and I'm paraphrasing. He said one of the greatest strategy is to be in a position of power and not know it. I don't know if you understand. Like to not recognize the position that you are in and the kind of power you have. And I think that is a perfect description of America. It's not the government, but the people. The people of many Americans don't understand the position. They say it, but they don't understand it. Like they're like, yeah, we are our president is the leader of the free world and what have you, but they don't really understand it. They don't really understand the kind of power that they have and the responsibility that comes with it. I think there is just that thing, because another story that I think of is Esther and Mordecai. When Haman was planning to wipe out the Jews, Mordecai went to Esther and said, talk to the king. And Esther was like, no, I can't talk to the king. There is this law. I cannot go to the king except I'm summoned. And if I go to the king without being summoned, I may lose my head. And Mordecai said to Esther that to the effect
for this moment, God have prepared you.
So don't think that because you're in the palace you are safe. Don't think, because I'm in this position, it's just the rest of you guys, And who knows? Perhaps it is for this very reason that you are queen. And I think Americans have not realized, perhaps it is for a time like this that God allowed your ancestors to get into a ship, survive, get into America, colonize it, get a nation here, do all the great things that your nation was able to do, be this prosperous. Perhaps God did all of that because of a time like this, and you are squandering it. You are squandering it. You're like, God, you made a, you should have chosen someone else.
Yeah. No, we don't care about Israel. We're listening to Turkey and Qatar right now.
Yeah, we don't care. We that is why when people are like America only, this America only crowd. There's America first, and then there's America only. I know we are America only. I'm like, there is no faster way to tell God that, please, whatever privilege you have given to us, take it away, than to say America only. You think God is so wasteful that he will bless you just for yourself? You think he's like, I have all these blessings I want to give to this nation, and I'm giving it to them so that they can only spend it on themselves? You really think that that's how God works? Like, he doesn't think he's not blessing you because he wants you to be a blessing to other people? He's just blessing you so he can be a blessing. If you really want God to take away his blessing for you, be all about yourself. Just say, okay, it's just me, myself, and I. Be like that, and like this, it is gone. And nation, another thing, I know I'm speaking as a Christian, and maybe some people who are watching me are not even Christians, but one thing that I've understand from how God works is that, what do I even want to say? One thing I understand from how God works is that everything he's doing to you, even both the blessings and the or both the good things and the bad things, they're all a test. God is doing all of them to see what you would do. In every situation, God is always looking to see what you would do. He's always looking at what decision you will make. When he blesses you, he wants to see what you will do. When he takes away the blessing, he wants to see what you will do. Do you understand? Like he always he's like the psalmist says, who is man that you're really mindful of him? You're really paying attention to this guy. Like, who are we that you're paying attention to us? God is really paying attention to us. He's really mindful of us. He's always like, what are these people going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And many times people, do not disappoint, and they really do what God wants them to do. And some other times, some people are hell bent.
I like
the disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not God they are disappointing. They're disappointing themselves. So realize as a believer, especially a believer in the West, that you are there for a reason. That's why I encourage Christians in the West, understand the world you're living in. Because one thing, of course, to be able to be on the right side, you have to know what the right side is. That's why you need to educate yourself. Don't be foolish. Don't listen to people like Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson. Don't be easy target for idiots to manipulate you. Don't be like that. Be smart. Know what is up. Understand. One thing you really also need to understand as somebody who stays in America is to understand Islam. The truth is 90% or maybe 80%, because so many times some radical Muslims deviate from the Islamic script.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the times, to understand these radicals who we have been told over and over again that they don't represent Islam. But if you understand Islam, if you really study it and you get to understand it, you begin to understand these so-called radicals. You understand them more when you understand the Islamic theology, like actual Islamic theology, not the watered-down, modern Western interpretation of it, like how people over there see it and how they understand it. When you begin to understand it, it makes sense. It makes sense. You now understand why you should not allow your country to side with ISIS for whatever reason. You even begin to understand why you need to pay attention to what is happening in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You really, people always, you even find it among Christians. That's the one that I find really interesting among Christians. What is our business in the Middle East? Why are we so concerned about it? I'm like, believer in Jesus Christ, keep asking stupid questions.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of, they want to convince us now that these young men here are the next future of Christians and conservatives in the US. Now, let's go one by one here. We have a Nazi Mexican midget. We have a Nazi Arab Islamist.
He's not even an Islamist. He's just a stupid person. That's a Myron.
Yeah. And then we have the brother and his two brothers who are pimps, basically pimps and sexual offenders. Yeah. And sexual offenders and pimps, that's like legit. Yes. And then the other guys, I don't know who these losers are. Like, Sneeko. I just started hearing about him lately. Like, I've never known who this guy is. So you want to convince us that yesterday the role models were Charlie Kirk, Jordan Peterson, and Joko. Navy SEALs kind of guy who is like, all about discipline, waking up 3 a.m, going to work hard, be with your wife, be with your children. Like, these were the role models: Charlie Kirk, Jordan Peterson, Joko, and their like. And all of a sudden, your role models is all these guys here, which, by the way, seems to love Hitler. Like, how did that go so wrong so fast is something that I don't fully understand. And then they come and they try kind of to tell you that everything they're doing is because they're Christians and because America first. Meanwhile, they say the F word every second sentence that they say, and they use like vulgar words, and they're supporting communist, jihadists, Nazi-like leaders. But no, we're Christians. I do it because I'm Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what, man? And that's the thing. Like, I'd rather stay away from spirituality, theology, because people can interpret it in many ways that they want.
There is no no justifiable interpretation that will lead any person to some of the ridiculous. These are stupid people. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I describe them. And I'm not. These are stupid people. And to understand it, I just want to share something with I don't want to share this passage of scripture with you, if you
Please,
don't
please.
mind. Okay. This is from the book of John. I don't know
Let me
if
put
you
it.
let me put it on the screen. Okay, this is from the book of John. This is John chapter. I want to read from verse 19, but let me start from verse 18. He said, "He who believes in him, that's who believes in Jesus Christ, is not condemned, but he who does not believe is already condemned because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God." Now he wants to describe that condemnation. Now listen to the condemnation that he says: those who do not believe in Jesus are condemned. So this is the condemnation, that light has come into the world, and men love darkness. That is what we are seeing. Light has come into the world. There is Jordan Peterson. There is all these other people that you mentioned, but people love darkness. People are fans. They are huge fans of darkness. Men love darkness rather than the light. Why do they love darkness rather than the light? Because their deeds are evil. Because people like doing evil things. The appeal, people always say that the appeal of Andrew Tate is because he's speaking to fatherless men and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Jordan Peterson was also speaking to fatherless men, and every other person you just mentioned was also speaking to fatherless men. Why did they ignore these other people and choose Andrew Tate and choose Sneeko and choose all? Why? It was a choice that these people made.
Yeah. None of them is married. None of them are married. None of them
none of
is
them
a
are
role model for like
Yeah.
life, for have a real job. Like literally, this is like the worst kind of examples you want to have for your generation, for your children. Like none of them is holding a real job. They're all grifters. None of them is married. None of them is holding real responsibilities. And the ones who did, it was because they were, pimps and, selling women and all kind of stuff. But my point was before, like to add to what you said, so I try to stay away from, hocus pocus spiritual kind of interpretations and look at the foundation of what does their ideology or the theology tells them. So if you come and you claim that you're Christians, because I'm Christian, Jesus is king, they love to throw that. Well, then God did not believe in America, guys. America didn't exist during the time of Jesus. God believed in humanity, in himself. He created all humans equal. He says, all of them are my children. All of us were born sinners. So that's what your theology says. And with that comes the idea that in the eyes of God, when you go and meet him one day, he's not going to say, oh, lines, there's a custom line here for Americans first. They get a faster line to go. Like there's no.
Yeah,
it's going to be humans.
When you stand before your creator, he's not going to say, how many times did you write Christ is King on Twitter?
Yeah. Or show me your passport. Show me, oh, you're American? Okay, you can go faster. Go faster. All the non-American, all the aliens, wait here. We'll check you later if you're saved or not. So in that aspect, if you say Christ is king, Jesus is king, I'm a Christian first, then you should care. Then the whole notion of isolation and America alone is the dumbest thing in the world to say as a Christian, because if you are a true Christian, you should come and say all of humans are first. I care about all of Christian, even my enemies. But these guys, they're like all about, America.
They're not even their America first position is not even well articulated.
America first is okay, but America only.
Even the America only position is not well articulated. These people are just degenerates who say that's why I brought that scripture that I brought out, that the reason why these people are famous is because men love darkness. People love darkness. That is just the reality. People love darkness. And when somebody, especially in this modern age of the internet, discovers this reality that people love darkness and decides to be the representation of that darkness, people are going to gravitate towards you. That is what Andrew Tate has discovered. That is what Candace Owens have discovered. That's what Tucker Carlson have discovered. They discovered that people love darkness. An example of darkness is lies. People like being lied to. Andrew Tate is a good liar. And that is why it's not even, when I say a good liar, I don't mean that his lies are even intelligent. What makes someone a good liar these days is just how committed you are not committed to the lie you tell, but committed to the act of lying. You know, there's what we call like there are people who lie, and then when you catch them, they're like, oh, okay, you know what, I lied, you know. But some people are committed to the act of lying. When you catch them with one lie, they manufacture another one. And Andrew Tate is really that good at it, and he's very charismatic with the lies he tells. And that's why people are gravitating towards him. If you are somebody who tells the truth, you're not going to get as much of a following as these people because the truth is boring. You know, you can try your best to make it interesting, but the person who is lying doesn't even have to try because the lies are always going to be more interesting than the truth. And people are always entertained with lies. And that is why you have people like Sneeko out there who is just going to, I'm a this, I'm that, I'm not a Muslim, but I'm going to be in the clubs the next day. I'll be ordering shots and I'll be carrying women around and I'll always, you know, just still be a degenerate and not even be slick about it. And tomorrow I'm going to go to Mecca, and yet I'm still going to have Muslims follow me because I'm a guy. And
so Sneeko is Muslim?
Yeah, he is. He's a Muslim. He has gone for the Hajj. He has done he's as Muslim at this point. He has even done the whole dawah thing where you go to places and you are sharing Qurans. He have done all of that.
Why is he famous? Like, what did he do before? Like, I've never heard of him before. Like, what? Maybe I'm just a boomer. I'm not in that world, but
he started on YouTube. He used to be a YouTuber who made like this introspective YouTube style videos, which were very good when he was making them. You know, he was really like Sneeko when he came on the scene on social media was really this kind of very positive guy who speaks things that even as somebody who is, even the older you get, you look at some of Sneeko's early videos and you're like, wow, this he was younger then. And you be like, this guy was up to something. He was really making social commentary videos and introspective videos, talking about his life, talking about society in a way that shows this person is thinking, right? But then along the line, he was really, I think one of his problems was that he really wanted to be famous. He really wanted to be popular. And then he discovered Andrew Tate. It will interest you to know that the first time Sneeko reacted to Andrew Tate, he was making fun of him and saying, what kind of person is this? What kind of idea of masculinity is this? This is ridiculous. But then
Andrew Tate said that about Sneeko.
No, Sneeko said that about Andrew Tate. And then he watched the trajectory of Andrew Tate's career so that despite how ridiculous and insane this guy is sounding, you know, he's getting traction and people are responding to whatever it is that he's putting out there in a way that is profitable. And over time, the next thing we know, Sneeko is doing the same, he's doing reaction videos, live stream, where he dunk on feminists and he make fun of women and he's repeating the same thing that, you know, Andrew Tate was saying. And people started calling him low budget Andrew Tate. You know, and then he started linking up with Andrew Tate. Then he started having Andrew Tate on his live streams and his podcast or whatever it is. And then he just, when the October 7th happened, before then he, you know, Andrew Tate converted to Islam. The next thing we know, Sneeko converted to Islam. And Andrew Tate was not even that committed to being a Muslim. He wasn't really that serious about it. Like everyone could see that it was just for
money and girls and, you know, getting likes.
He was turning to religion to see if religion would be profitable. That he was trying to grift, follow the religious grift. And when you want to grift right now religiously, you go to Islam because you have a fresh audience who themselves also want to be grifted on. And Sneeko recognized that, became a Muslim, even became more committed to the grift of Islam, like was doing the whole thing, you know. And then October 7th happened, and then Nick Fuentes, the first person to on YouTube who platformed Nick Fuentes was Sneeko. Like before my own days, it was Sneeko. It was like, oh, the guy is funny, the guy is interesting. He wants to hear more from him. And before you know, it was all JQ, the Jewish question. October 7th happened, and it's like free Palestine. So that is just the trajectory of Sneeko's public career. Now he's in clubs singing Kanye West anti-Semitic songs.
Not anymore, apparently. They banned him from all clubs.
Banned him from all clubs. That's just the trajectory. And why did Sneeko, the point I'm trying to make is, why did you find someone like Sneeko following that trajectory of Andrew Tate and the rest of them? Because he discovered that men love darkness.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. He discovered that men love darkness. People like this kind of nonsense. People always say, why is it that Candace Owens is not stopping? Why is it that she's still going? She's still going. Despite how ridiculous. Because she recognizes that You people who are saying, you think you people are plenty. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of people are stupid. It's like you guys don't understand how the brilliance of Candace Owens and the rest of them, when you realize that you have most of the people online are painfully stupid. That is the largest demographic on social media. The largest demographics are not leftists or conservatives or young men or young women or whatever. No, it's stupid people. That's the largest demographic. People who
Yeah,
love,
stupid people who love drama and love darkness. Yeah.
yeah. So when you discover that that is the largest demographic, you the one way to become the number one podcast in America is to make those people your core audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter how, no, and here's the funny thing: there was once a time, right, where there was like this gatherings, and I know everybody's like freedom of speech, there should be no gatekeepers, blah blah blah. But at least back then, the gatekeepers recognized, okay, at least we need to, we need to have certain limitations. We don't, there were for a very long time the demographic of stupid people, which have always been in the majority, we are being oppressed. What I mean by oppressed is that they were not given a voice. Back then we cannot be stupid and be on CNN. Back then, back there were only 3 stations: CNN, ABC, and what is the other one? I think it's CBS or so. But back then you cannot be stupid and be on those stations. There was a guardrails. There was so stupid people didn't have a voice, right? And then social media came and gave stupid people a voice.
Magnified it.
Yes, and now that is it. That is.
No.
I know the way I'm explaining this to myself kind of funny, but I'm dead serious. Okay, we have a serious epidemic of stupid people finding a voice. So stupid people are no longer oppressed in society, and we need to bring back the oppression of stupid people. And by oppression, I mean take away their voice. Okay, we need to start recognizing that one way to deal with stupid people is not one of the mistakes that I think we've made in this social media podcast era is to talk to people like they are smart. I think, you see people talking and they're like, I need to reason with you, and you're pointing out facts and logic, and you're being reasonable, and you're coming up with arguments and all whatnot. And no, the best way to talk to stupid people is to insult them. You tell them you're a stupid person. Like, before I answer you, I want to begin by telling you just how stupid you are. You break down their stupidity. When you are done, then you now give them that that argument you had prepared. That's like
Yeah. Listen, I think it's because there's literally no consequences for being stupid anymore. And anti-Semitism sells. Like,
that's the oppression now. There was a time when if you are stupid, there will be consequences. But now they're no longer being oppressed. That's why.
Now you become famous. Now you get invited to all kind of talk shows. Now everybody's talking about you. If you are a degenerate, numbskull idiot who is very controversial and want to become famous, then if you come and start talking about morals and right way of living, you won't get anyone listening to you almost. Because also they don't need you. People who really look for morality usually will find it in their homes, will find it in leadership in their community, will find it in the church. It'll be nice to have you as a voice. It's good to have you, but it's going to be harder to climb virally grow, because you need to prove now that you're a hard worker. You need to prove now that you are a family man. You need to prove now that you are an innovative, supportive member of society in any possible way, even by words. Someone contribute to make life better for people. You need to really, and also you need to maintain a status quo of a decent, good human. Otherwise, people will know that you're a fraud. So it's a really heavy load to be a role model, a hero in the good side. But then you can override all these obstacles by choosing the darkness. Go to the dark side. Speak something stupid about, how much you hate the Jews, how much you hate Israel, how much you love Hitler. Or I don't say something stupid about women, about children. Say that you support, the whole idea of Islam and, marrying 6 years old and 9 years old and I don't know what. And bam, you will go viral, and all of a sudden you'll become like this dimwit, Sneeko, who named himself Sneeko. Sneeko. My name is Snickers. My name is Tapu Chips. Anyway,
I just shared the passage of scripture I just shared on the screen. You can just help me put it up. I just want to...
You want to put it back? Here.
Yeah.
Right. Preach it, man. Preach it. I'm loving this Bible study here. Preach it. Here we go.
Okay, this is Proverbs 23 verse 6. I was saying something that the best way to deal with foolish people is to tell them just how foolish they are. And the Bible agrees with me. It says a whip is for a horse, a bridle is for the donkey, and a rod is for the back of fools. It's not, thus saith the Lord.
Yeah, it's like it's harder. The fools
Yeah,
need a
you really
harder
do.
beating than a donkey and a horse.
Yeah, you whip a horse, you bring a donkey, and you beat with a rod a fool, the back of a fool. That was what the rod was designed for. It was
Have you
designed for them. It was
have you seen the
designed.
movie? Yeah, have you seen the movie True Grit?
No, I'm not.
Oh, brilliant. I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for that, but don't get it out of context. But there's a scene there that this like old cowboy guys, he's going to a hut and to talk to some, information person. And outside of the hut sitting like these two kids, and they were just kind of, throwing rocks at an animal, I don't know what. And he walks by and he sees them, and without a word, like this little kind of Mexican kid looking at him with like a punk look, he just kicks him and he falls down, boom, boom, start rolling down the hill, and he walks in. And then, because he saw him like hitting an animal. And then when he walks out, this kid is like sitting there like all grumpy, and he just kicks him again and keep walking. And the kid just pop, 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 fall down. And it just made me laugh so much. I'm not promoting kicking children in any possible way, but the whole notion there of like a world where there was consequences for being stupid.
Stupid, yes.
And you didn't need to ask a lot of questions. That kid is stupid. Just boom, let him roll down the hill. He's abusing animals. He's an idiot. Like, don't even give him too much attention. Sneeko and all these guys, they're just literally stupid.
Yes, because one of the things people do, I watch it and the thing, like I watch people make reaction videos to some of the things that Sneeko and the likes of them say, and they're like trying to be reasonable. They're like, see, this is, I want to give you the reasons why this is wrong. And I'm like, these people don't, that language you are speaking is Chinese to these people. You're speaking Mandarin. These people are Americans. You're speaking Mandarin to them. Try speaking in English. And the English they understand is to use, you can't use, of course, you can't use cane on them. You saw them living it, but you can use your tongue to give them a serious, like, beating. Beat them very well. Make them realize that no. You need to be ridiculed and humiliated for being this stupid. That is what, at the end of the day is required to deal with these people, to deal with the likes of Sneeko.
Yeah. Here, I found the clip. I gotta share it with you guys, just so you know. This is the clip, okay? So it's just a good movie, really good movie.
Here, sister.
Wait,
She bagged me.
That's how Sneeko and these guys should be treated. Like, don't give them attention. Just and then look, and then he comes out. And these kids are up to no good. You know that.
Yeah.
So that was like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. He just like doesn't ask questions. Just he sees them like abusing an animal, just goes poof, kick them out, kick the other one, comes out with no question, poof, kick the other one again. I think that's how society should be treating it, and not promoting violence here. Okay, I just want to make sure. But in terms of the idea behind it, society should not be rewarding in any way evil behavior towards anything. Abusive, evil behavior toward human, toward children, toward races, toward animals should not be tolerated. Like nothing. You should not give it a place. You should not give it a voice. And you should be very strict with it. And the moment that you stop, and like you said, because inherently people like darkness, and the moment that you make, there's no restrictions here. You said it in the beginning, like you don't silence the stupid or put like censorship on the stupid. And I'm against censorship in so many ways, but I'm saying the moment that your society tolerates stupidness, then you just opened a door for stupidness to flourish. And then you have Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, who just like, you just gave a monkey a banana and it just doesn't stop singing. Like, like we used to have it when I was traveling the world, we say like when karaoke, when someone just doesn't want to sing, you just gave a monkey a microphone. He just didn't want to leave it. He's just singing, doesn't want to stop. That was when I was among Filipinos. They love karaoke, and they always used to laugh like, "Hey, give me back the, give me
The,
back
the,
the mic."
the microphone.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, okay, they won't stop. They're just gonna keep going. They're gonna keep going, and they're gonna keep singing and singing and singing because they know that people like the nonsense that's coming out of their mouth. And if you tolerate it, then you end up having numbskulls like this starting to look like the leadership of your society. Should we watch this video? Because should we watch it? Is there anything good in it?
Which one? The ones I sent to you. I think we've kind of like summarized what the video is saying, but
Ah, okay.
that's the
Is
one
that
that
the one you sent me? No, that's not the one you sent me, I think.
the first one I sent you. The second one, I've forgotten what it is about. I saw it
Ah,
on
it's
Twitter.
in YouTube. It's in YouTube, right? Or is it an X?
The first one is on YouTube. The second one is on X. Right.
Ah, it's a 9 minutes video.
So, but we've already like summarized the entire point of the whole Sneeko stuff. Maybe there will be no need
Yeah.
to.
All right. Yeah. No need then.
Yeah.
No need. Wow. Listen, man, we went all over the place, and it's an hour and a half already.
And the audience are very, really, really patient people. Thank you guys for patience with us.
Yeah, yeah.
All over the place.
No, definitely. And for those of you who don't know, Frank has started a new YouTube channel, and you have here the. Do you want to share it here, or how can people find you?
Okay, the name of the channel is Bliss of Jihad. Let me beautiful name, right? I was proud when I chose that name. I was like, yeah, I've done something fantastic. I was proud of myself. So the name of the channel is Bliss of Jihad. I know some people on my channel will be wondering, Frank, where are you? Where have you gone? I have not gone anywhere. I'm just in somewhere that you may not know. So that's kind of I want to get the link so I can share it with you guys. All right, I've gotten the link. So I'll post it in the
comments. Put it in the comments, and then I will put it on the screen.
Doing that right now. I just posted it. So that's the link to the channel. You can go there. I have like up to how many videos now on the channel? I post like 2 videos every week, and takes, has all the hallmark of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I have up to like 18 videos on the channel right now. So you can go there, you can watch all of them. I'm promising you that they're all interesting, they're all amazing. So you can go, you can check them out. I have one recently where I was talking about the testimony of an ex-Muslim. Her story is really interesting. This ex-Muslim, her name is Noor, Noor. She's from India. She said her family lineage goes back to the Prophet Muhammad, and because of that, her father, who is also a Muslim, a Shia Muslim, wanted to make sure that their family become exemplary Muslims, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of that entails that when she was 9, by the time she was 9, she was already wearing the hijab, fully covered. And then she told a story of one time they were going for a family excursion, and she wore her hijab, and her father told her to go and change. She said she was fully covered, but her father was like, go and change. And she asked her father, she was 9 years old. Keep in mind, she was 9. And she asked her father, like, why am I going to go and change? And her father said, I can see your breast.
Yeah.
That is what you're telling a 9-year-old. She said it was one of the most, that's just one out of many of such exchanges that she had with her dad. Now, she's an ex-Muslim. She left. And she said one of the reasons why she left is that she felt she cannot be a person. She felt the religion does not recognize her as a person. She cannot truly be free as a Muslim. And one of the things she said that I really found it, although I didn't include it in the video, but it was one of the things that she said in her video. She said that that's why she's often confused. Now, she wasn't even trying to make this video to mock Islam. She was just using it to tell her story or to criticize Islam or anything. She was just telling her story and her experience with Islam. And she said that oftentimes she hears Muslims talk about how the hijab is empowering and how the hijab is their choice and everything. And she was like, that has not been my experience, and that she finds it shocking when they say it. Now, she didn't even counter them or bring anywhere in the Quran that says this. No. Although she quoted the Quran verse that her father quoted to her, when he was telling her to cover herself
Yeah.
properly. She just that was all she did in quoting that passage. And I just find her story really interesting. And she's a Shia Muslim. This is not even Sunni. And she's a 12-hour Shia, 12-hour Shia rather. The people that are running the fun house in Iran, people that are making Iran a glorious place. That is the sect that she belongs to, or her father belonged to. So you can imagine the emphasis on covering that her father would have. So yeah, that's what the video is about, and what
If
I
her
tried to.
father told her she had a lineage from Muhammad, then it's not true.
Yeah, this is most likely not true. Many of this, I know it is not true. It is not true. Even this guy, Imam of Peace, the Imam of Peace now, you know him, Imam Tawhidi.
I've seen videos of him. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't
Imam
follow him
Tawhidi
that much,
goes
but
around. Yeah. You have many of them like that in the Middle East who will claim their ancestor was one of the first people to convert to Islam. And I often feel these are just stories they tell themselves to make themselves feel good, to make themselves feel important. Many of those people don't go back to nothing. They go back to no one.
yeah.
Muhammad himself, historically, we don't even know if he existed. Talk more of his companions. So people are just telling themselves stories to make themselves feel good. They most definitely did not go back to the Prophet. But of course, that's the myth that their family has been operating with. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Anyway, so yeah, that's one of the videos that I've talked about. And I've also done a couple of videos where I just focus on Islam and how Islam treats women. Like, it's one of those things that I would say most of my channel, most of the videos on this, even though they don't bear that title, trust me, when you click on it, you realize that I'm talking about women and how they are treated in Islam.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm looking at the website right now. Is that the one that you have like a cartoonish image of an anchor man with like curly hair, called Bliss of Jihad, every Monday and Friday?
yes. Yeah, I have, that kind of, that's it. That's the police.
Okay. So I see your last video was Muhammad descended exposes Islam's obsession with the 9 years old.
9-year-old girls, yes.
Okay, I found the website. Okay, I was just looking at it.
Yeah, maybe my face is not there. That's how people are now. Whether it's me, maybe I should change it and put my big head there.
I think people connect to you, man. I think people connect to your image and to you, and they learn to trust your voice. So I mean, I like the logo there. It looks cool. Looks way better than mine. Mine is just a picture that I once took when my kid was born. I just laid the camera and took it with help behind. And then one day when I opened this YouTube channel, I didn't have time to look for a picture. So that was one of the first pictures that I had in my it was one of the first normal pictures that I had that I can put there. So I just put it there, and then I wrote quickly the Ashka show, and then I got stuck with it. It's like
you can change it. If you want to move, you can always change it.
I know. I tried to work with ChatGPT to get me like a few images to change it, but it doesn't look as good. And I just said, okay, I'll just leave it. But yeah, if I one day have time, I'll invest in it. Like time and effort, I'll change it to something more professional, I guess.
Yeah.
All
right. So that's what the new channel is essentially about. One of the videos that has like 23K views is the one where I was reacting to Imam Tawhidi. Imam Tawhidi is a funny guy. I think this guy is funny. He's just unintentionally funny. Whenever I listen to him talk, I always feel this guy is funny. Now, of course, he's not a radical. He's not like in the radical camp. He doesn't believe in child marriage. He will tell you that, no, the Prophet did not marry a 9-year-old and stuff like that. But his reasoning is just ridiculous. He did a podcast interview with Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah, I'm seeing it here.
And then Patrick Bet-David asked him, okay, what about the 72 virgins in heaven stuff? Like, what's your take on that? And he's like, this is his response. He was like, yeah, it is in the Quran. It is in the Quran. And that you need to understand that, the reason the Prophet Muhammad was sent to primitive Arabs, and then these people didn't have like basic logic. And he was like, oh, look, there is this passage in the Quran where Muhammad had to receive a revelation to tell the people in Mecca that they should come enter their house through the front door. And it was like, can you imagine? You have to tell people to go through their house through the front door. that can you imagine that the prophet had to receive that kind of revelation to tell them how to enter their houses? That these people were not sensible people, blah, blah, blah. And then Patrick Bet David was like, so are you trying to say that Islam is a religion for primitive people? Right? Like if your prophet was have to give primitive people rules, and the reason why he said 72 virgins is because he was speaking to primitive people, then Islam is therefore a religion for the primitive, right? And then he's like, no, actually, these people were not that primitive. They kind of had their, their own stuff that they were. And I was like, of peace. And I was like, nah, you just said that they are primitive, and maybe you should leave the religion because it's primitive. Like, if we had ended there at these people are primitive people, I would respect that because I said the same thing too. This is a religion for primitive minds. I mean,
sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry, man. If you believe that there's a God who literally created the universe, created the galaxies, created like the vast, expanding universe that we're just so small in it, like black holes that can suck up our entire galaxy into it, like some of them are just gigantic. That God looked at a bunch of primitive people in the desert and said, okay, how am I going to talk to them? Okay, let me send the guy who as primitive as they are. I will make him marry young girls, and he will go and slaughter people and kill people and steal their money and and he will make rules as he goes that are just, every rule is crazier than the other. And oh, by the way, he doesn't know how to read also. That's my guy. That is from the intergalactic. Like I could have chose every being on the face of this galaxy. I could have brought you a Superman, Mahmoud Abdul Supreme Jabbar, a real Superman. Let him be Arab, but like he will just come and fly with the kafia and the turban and just land, boom, and like be fluent with language and culture and knowledge, and he would lead them to a better place. No.
No, he chose an Arab. And the Arab is one of the most degenerate of them. Like the Arab has an obsession with children. The Arab Muhammad once said, there was a man who met Muhammad and told Muhammad that he just got married. And Muhammad asked him, who did you marry? Did you marry a matron, that is an older woman, or did you marry a virgin? And by virgin, they mean a child.
Mm-hmm.
And the man said, I married a matron. And Muhammad said, why didn't you marry a child? You can marry a child and fondle with the child. That is what, as this is a hadith. I am not making this up. Muhammad said this.
How can you argue that, man? How can you argue that?
That is the.
Here's the thing. Like back then, people didn't have ChatGPT, didn't have Google. There was no fact checks. Like fact checking was not big. You could come and make up like crazy, stupid stories and people will fall for it. I get it. You can even steal stories from other cultures and put them together. Like, I get it. Say stuff like, yeah, it's all written about me in the Bible. They wrote about me before. Oh, really? We believe you. Okay. But today, man, come on. Like,
I think most of Islam, even back then, many people back then did not even believe Muhammad. Like many of the criticism we have about Muhammad now, many of them the people in Mecca had. What made Islam what made the religion thrive and grow was the use of force. Like right, if this Arabian warriors were not going to various communities and societies and fighting them and forcing people to convert for them to be able to even live in their own land. If Muhammad was not doing that, I don't think the religion will have spread. Sometimes I always say that the first victims of Islam are the Muslims themselves. They didn't choose to be Muslims, as much as they tell you, except for the Western converts. Those ones are just like painfully stupid people.
Yeah, these idiots.
Those are just, but most of the Muslims you see today are victims of the religion. They know nothing else. We often forget that majority of Muslims in the world are not in America. They are not in Canada. They are not in the UK. They are not in Australia. They are in Egypt. They are in Somalia. They are in Saudi Arabia. They are in Yemen. They are in Libya. They are in Morocco. And many of them live in places where they don't even have this access to the internet that we have. They live in places where they have this strong tight community where to live Islam is like to live your entire life. Some of them live in places where to even live Islam is a death sentence. So when you realize that that's majority of the population, and then many of them don't know anything else, like that is their entire identity. That's all they've ever known. They've not even given they've never really had time. The truth is, many people don't even have time to think about their religious affiliation and what exactly it is saying. Not many people are very introspective and get time to think, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, you realize that these people are really the first victim of Islam. They are victims of Islam. The
Yeah, people
primary.
don't know. People don't know that a lot of the converts to Islam are coming either by force, by fear, by conquest, and by birth. Like you're literally just, they come and they, take a woman and they bring a lot of children. Now the trick here is it's Hotel California. Once you go in, you can't go out. Because if you go out, you're a kuffar now, you're infidel, you should be killed.
Mhm,
And a lot of the people that convert to Islam also from the West, they do it because of like a lot of weird reasons here and there. But
mhm.
many of them actually, once they go inside and they realize that they were sold like a bunch of like a bluff, and that
They
it's
leave.
not tolerant, it's not full of peace, it's not like all these queers and these like LGBTQ feminist women. I find it hilarious. Like they're standing like, Inshallah, I support Islam. I'm a Muslim myself, and I really hope that Hamas will start treating queers better. Like these kind of people, how long do you think they stay Muslim?
No, they don't stay
Either
Muslim.
they, yeah, but the problem is once they stop, they're not gonna go and make a video. Okay, guys, I decided it's not for me, because now you
That-
just put a target on yourself.
yes, and that's the
So they
problem.
they play
That
it for a while, and then they get like really burned from it,
yeah,
backlash like big time, and then they come out of it like burned and really hurt, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna stop, but I'm not gonna tell anyone I'm gonna stop, because that's
yes.
there's
I,
fear.
there are many of them on. There are many of them on TikTok. I made one of my videos I made on my new channel is talking about it. They leave the religion and they don't say anything again about it. They don't tell people what they saw. They don't tell people what made them leave. They just leave quietly, and that is
Hmm.
it. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. What? Come, no, no, no. Tell us the rest of the story.
yeah.
Tell us
What happened? Why are you not making any more
why,
videos about hijab?
what happened. Where's the hijab? No, no, no. Tell us the story. Let other people know. Let other people know what they're getting themselves involved in. Come and tell us
Yeah,
the rest of the story. Come on. Come
yeah.
on, you owe it to us. When you were on your way to it, you documented everything. When you learned how to say Surah Al Fatiha, you could not wait to tell us. And then you left and you're quiet. No, tell us the whole thing. Be giddy about telling us why you left, so that follow your story through.
What happened to the masbaha? What happened to the masbaha? Why you're not counting the name of the prophets anymore? Why you're not praying? Like what happened? Where did that go? Where did that go, man?
No, you have to keep us up to date. Let us know everything. Because there's a stupid person right now who needs to hear what your story, so that they will not be stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At least bless you didn't do anything to bless people with your wisdom. At least bless them by not following your mistakes.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, woohoo. All right. Well, Frank, this was an honor and a pleasure. And I think we should definitely do this more often and come and
Yep.
just rant, come and just complain about all kind of,
This is my
crazy,
ranting
stupid stuff.
outlet.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
We should
told
make
you.
we should
No,
make
we'll
like
do
a
another one
scheduled
next. Yeah, we'll do another one next week. Around this time next.
around
Sorry.
this time next week. Let's start going complain again. To all the viewers back home, thank you so much for sticking around. This is impressive. We've been having, solid numbers for a very long time. Just want to remind you guys, share, like, subscribe,
Mhm.
go and check the Patreon or any possible way to support your favorite creators. And if you choose to help and support us, you can go on Frank's website and they will explain it there. I'm guessing. Do you have a Patreon or you have a Buy Me Coffee, or how can
Yeah,
people?
I will buy me a coffee. That's let me put it on the chat. I don't know how to promote myself. That's my problem.
I'm terrible at that as well. So
I'm writing it. Give me a second.
yeah, yeah, put it here. I see it on your website here.
Okay.
No, I see the YouTube. Sorry, that's a different one. Do, 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 do. Yeah, yeah. So if you want to help and support creators like ourselves, you can go and find direct ways to do that, which in Frank is Buy Me a Coffee. A lot of your content creators out there that are doing this work for you, just so you know, guys, are spending a lot of time researching, studying, fact checking, and then preparing themselves. And just to let you know, also bringing yourself live on a camera, knowing that thousands of people will watch everything that comes out of your mouth, takes a skill. Takes a skill and also takes courage. And a lot of people are not willing to do it. You'll be surprised by how many people, they love my show, they love your show, they want to come, but then when the chance comes, they just, I'm not, I don't know if I want to put my face there. I don't know if I want to go live. So
Mhm.
all these things, guys, just so you know, it takes time, takes preparation, and it takes a lot of effort. So if you want to help support some of your content creators like Frank here, like myself, go and find us, either buy me a coffee or Patreon, and we'd highly appreciate that. Without further ado, we want to thank everyone for watching, and I just want to come and say in the end, guys, yes, stay on Team West, stay on Team Freedom, stay on Team Christianity, Judaic Christian values. These are the sides that you will want to stay in the end, the true sides you want to stay, because there's one thing that I've learned by watching all these Sneakos and Candace Owens and all these crazinesses happening in the world in a bigger
Mhm.
scale. There's no unity among the wicked. They will use each other when they can, but the first chance they have, they start betraying and backstabbing one another. And just, it's not worth it. It might look easy in the beginning to jump train and join them, but you will always get burned and you'll always be left behind, either in this life or the next one. It's just not worth it. So I don't recommend it. So, like I always say, don't do anything stupid and stay safe. And this should be Frank's next YouTube channel, Frank Rants.
Yeah, somebody who is asking, Frank, wait, you live in the US? No, I don't. I don't live in the United States. I live in Nigeria. I don't live in the United States.
Yeah,
I-
no, he
yeah.
he lives in Nigeria and he talks quite a lot also about the situation there, which I think is a fascinating situation for itself. But anyway,
Mhm.
guys, Frank, do you want to say some words of goodbye or something else you want to finish with?
Yeah, all I want to say is bye bye.
Bye bye. God bless you guys, and we both need to go to sleep. So yeah,
All
stay
right.
safe. See you next time.
Yep.